job is to introduce the Master of Ceremonies tonight. This guy is a 1987 graduate of St. Mary's High School. He was inducted into this very Hall of Fame in 2010. He's the father of two daughters, Stella, age 7, and Georgia, age 4. And he's married to Jen Robin, who's with us tonight. He's a proud South City resident and alumnus of the powerhouse grade school, St. Anthony of Padua. This is the third time he's emceed this event, and as you will soon witness, his attention to detail and his personal touch on this event is impeccable. He's a former Dragon pigskin slinger who's broke many records. A man who has coined many phrases, and I'm sure you'll hear a few of those tonight. He's a humble and proud family man and a genuine friend of mine. It's with my pleasure to introduce tonight's Master of Ceremony, the class of 1987's own Jim Robin.
Thank you, Tony. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary. As you heard, my name is Jim Robin from the class of 87. I'd like to welcome you all to St. Mary's High. I'll be your host tonight as we honor 10 distinguished high school athletes, 2 championship teams, and 1 meritorious award recipient. We have a great night planned for you, and you'll be hearing about and from some incredible alumni on their accomplishments and time here in the pride of the South Side, St. Mary's High. For those of you that have not been able to make it back to campus in some time, on behalf of President Mike England, we hope you've noticed some big changes that have and are taking place on this campus. Through Mike, the entire St. Mary's faculty, including Athletic Director Tony Vitoli and his team of coaches, as well as a fantastic alumni association led by President Ken Gable, there have been many, many things happening, big and small, going around our school. We strongly encourage you to take in some of these new enhancements, such as the athletic fields, the locker rooms, and other great amenities. As alums, you have a voice, and you have a captive audience that wants to hear from you. As we hope you become more and more engaged and connected to all the great things happening here up in South Grand. For decades now, St. Mary's has shaped, guided, and nurtured thousands of young men that have passed through the halls of this fine institution. As such, the school has seen quite a bit of changes in its time, all with an objective of properly instilling virtues and preparing our students for the next steps in their transition to life behind campus and into adulthood. Athletics often can be of great assistance in this transformation, which is why events like this shine the proper light on great individuals, teams, faculty, and coaches. Tonight, there are a lot of great people to honor, with lots of great accomplishments to hear about, so let's get started. Our first inductee is Jim Sullivan from the class of 1954. Jim attended St. Pius Grade School and was a letterman in multiple sports, as well as being an active class officer. He was a 4-year letterman in football, 2 years in basketball, while also lettering in soccer and track. He was co-captain in football his senior year and attended the University of Missouri Columbia on a full football scholarship. It's been offered that Jim embodied a deep Christian sense of fair play, self-worth, respect, and dignity of every teammate, coach, and opponent. Conversely, to all of his teammates and coaches, he was a bona fide leader. He served in the U.S. Navy and played football for the Pensacola Naval Air Station team. Jim later returned to St. Louis to work in the family business, Sullivan Drayage. He served as president of this local trucking company for more than 20 years before starting a new company. Launching this new company, Freight Distribution, a local trucking and warehousing enterprise in 1981, he remained as president until the company was sold in 2015. Jim retired in 2016 after more than 57 years of running local businesses. He's been married to wife Judy for 55 years with 3 children, Bridget, Dennis, and Katie, and has 6 grandchildren, Kyle and Colleen, Seamus and Liam, Connor and Caitlin. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1954, please help me in honoring Mr. Jim Sullivan.
Thanks. It's really hard to follow that. If you looked at the program, you'll see I'm probably the oldest guy here.
You look good.
Compared to what? But I'm honored and I'm thrilled that I was picked to join the thing tonight. And my memories about all I felt from the past are of St. Mary's. You know, it was Vern Winters, all those coaches. Bob Burnett, I think, is the only one still living. And they left the mark, and I'm sure they left the mark on many people. And I'm thrilled to carry it on if I can. So, again, thanks for everything. I appreciate your honesty.
Our next inductee we are posthumously honoring from the class of 1959, Charlie Nash. Charlie attended St. John Nepomuk Grade School, and he was a 3-year letterman in track, where he held the school record for the long jump. He was also a 3-year letterman in basketball, was the captain and leading scorer his senior year, achieving all conference honors. He lettered in football as a running back and was awarded the Athlete of the Year his senior year at St. Mary's. Charlie was the former executive director of the Boys Club of St. Louis, for which he ran for over 40-plus years. He was inducted in the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame in 1994. 5 years later, the Missouri Athletic Club honored him with the Jack Buck Award. Charlie passed away earlier this year in April and is survived by his loving wife of 52 years, Mary Rose, his 2 sons, Chuck, class of 81, which you'll hear a lot more here in a few moments, and Joe, class of 83, as well as his grandchildren, Katie and Nick. From family to siblings to friends to opponents, Charlie was a force, a fierce competitor and great teammate to many fellow Dragon athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, posthumously honored as a Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1959 and being accepted by his nephew and St. Mary's alum Dan Farrar, class of 79, as well as his friend, teammate, and fellow Hall of Fame inductee, Joe Fiorino from the class of 1959. A round of applause in honoring Mr. Charlie Nash.
Thank you. I talked to Tony Davis and Dave Wabi, and they said I had 40 minutes. Apparently I said I could do this in 30. So we'll try to speed it up a little bit. First of all, I'd like to thank the Nash family for the honor of introducing Charlie to take this place of honor in the halls of St. Mary's along with his son, Chuck Nash. I believe this is unprecedented in the St. Mary's Hall of Fame, where a father and his son have been entered at the same time. Yes, there are fathers and sons. There's differences all over the place. But at the same night, where a father and son has been inducted. Okay, I got Dan Farrar with me. As you can see, he's another of Charlie's lifelong friends. to assist me in case I get in trouble with my emotions. At our age, it sometimes becomes difficult to talk about your good friends without becoming emotional. I would first like to talk about Charlie the athlete, but he was already talked about. Charlie was a natural athlete, was displayed by him playing and excelling in 3 sports. Basketball was Charlie's first love, playing all 4 years, leading his team in scoring and point average his junior and senior year. His intensity and hard work and leadership led him to be chosen captain of the team. He also excelled in track and field and held a long jump record in the Catholic Athletic Conference. If that wasn't enough, Charlie had time to play 3 years of football, always displaying leadership and intensity that comes with being a dedicated athlete. For these accomplishments, Charlie is a worthy recipient for this honor. Charlie and I'm going to talk about Charlie the man now. When you graduate from the class of 59, some 57 years ago, you get the unique opportunity to look back over the years and see just how St. Mary's graduate has contributed to making the world a better place. When we graduated from high school, we had no idea what we wanted to do. Charlie and I decided to go to Southeast Missouri. Me on a football scholarship, Charlie on the idea it would be fun. When we came home for Christmas, we decided that college was not for us. So Charlie, myself, and Denny Parkman, who is here tonight, decided we would join the Navy and see the world. Well, the time came for the 3 of us to go get sworn in. Charlie drove us downtown. We walked into the judge's chamber. We raised our hand. We were in the Navy, except Charlie was nowhere to be found. Denny and I looked and looked, and finally went back to the car, and there was Charlie, sitting at the wheel. The only thing he said was, "I changed my mind." Of course, Denny and I spent the next 4 years in the Navy. And a good thing Charlie changed his mind. He was pulled back to Soulard neighborhood, 12th and Lafayette, to work for the Boys Club of America, where he attended as a youngster. It was there where they took him off the streets and gave him the guidance and discipline that would last a lifetime. Charlie never forgot his roots and began working for the Boys Club. For over 40 years, Charlie dedicated his life to helping poor kids, underprivileged youth, become better human beings. As I said before, in 1994, Charlie was inducted into the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame. 5 years later, the Missouri Athletic Club, with his annual Jack Buck Award, awarded him the honor, putting him alongside past winners such as Stan Musial, Ozzie Smith, Yogi Berra. Pretty good company for a South St. Louis St. Mary's graduate. I will conclude with what I think sums up Charlie's legacy of changing people's lives that will live on long after we are gone through the young men's lives he has changed. After Charlie had retired, they held an appreciation night for Charlie at a sold-out packed house at Carpenter's Hall. Over 300 people attended. This next paragraph will tell you everything you need to know about Charlie, the man. My wife and I had the privilege of sitting at Nash's table. These statements were repeated all night long, over and over. People came up to Charlie to shake his hand and basically said the same thing. "Charlie, if it wasn't for you in the Boys Club, I'm sure I would have went to prison. Charlie, if it wasn't for you, your stern, gentle discipline, I could have been killed on the streets, fighting or selling drugs. Charlie, you saved my life. Thank you, thank you." And lastly, a young man came up and stood in front of Charlie and said, "I want you to meet my wife and kids."
So what Joe is trying to say is Charlie's impacted thousands of us, and there's several people in this room tonight that Charlie impacted as athletic coach and life coach. Charlie passed away in April, and one of the biggest blessings, and this is kind of where Joe is going, one of the biggest blessings at the wake, and I wish we would have had a video camera set up, is how many people came up to us as a family and said, he impacted my life. And the story that I remember was there was a guy who none of us had ever seen before, and he walked up and he said, Charlie had such an impact on my life. I was in the streets, I was going to jail. It didn't matter whether you were white, black, yellow, purple, pink. He would pat you on the back or put his foot up your butt. It didn't matter. But that guy is now a pastor and a committed father and a committed husband. And he owed a lot of it to Charlie Nash, and that's what Charlie's all about. So we've been talking along. Thank you very much, Joe. You did a great job tonight. And as Joe wanted to say, Charlie not only is inducted into this Hall of Fame, he was inducted into God's Hall of Fame in April. And we thank you very much.
I got 1 minute left. And when I couldn't get to him, he said he met his wife and kids in the end. And he said, if it wasn't for you and the boys club, I wouldn't have any of this. I promise you, Charlie, I will raise my children the way you raised me. That's how the legacy of Charlie will live on outside these walls for generations to come through the many lives he touched and changed. And lastly, I would like to make you aware that Charlie had entered another Hall of Fame this year for his good works on this planet Earth. On 27 April, he entered God's Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Henry Gray from the class of 1973. Henry attended grade school at St. Mary Magdalene and was a four-year letterman at soccer, where as a goalie he still ranks in the top 10 for career shutouts of a high school goalie. During this time, St. Mary Soccer made the state final 3 of those 4 years, with him backlining the famed state championship team of 1970 as a freshman. He wanted to be awarded first-team All-State honors, as well as being a great All-American further in his high school career. Henry attended the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia on scholarship, where he was the starting goalie until his senior year, when he transitioned to a field player. He played for local soccer club Seco that won 2 national junior cup championships, as well as playing men's amateur soccer leagues in Philadelphia for over 20 years. It's been said of Henry that he was always quiet, but was a leader by example, which often made a difference. He currently resides in Philadelphia suburbs with his wife. They have 3 adult children and 7 grandchildren. He has worked in finance with several firms in the greater Philadelphia area for almost 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1973, please help me in honoring Mr. Henry Gray.
Thank you very much for this very unexpected recognition. It's very humbling to be recognized as an individual in a very much of a team sport. As I think back, certainly attending St. Mary's High School was one of the great pieces of good fortune in my life. The academics and moral instruction received here pay dividends every day over a lifetime. I'm quite certain that thousands more young men will be able to attend St. Mary's in the decades to come and benefit as well. With that, thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Tom Fleming from the class of 1977. Tom learned in multiple sports after attending St. Mary Magdalene Grade School. He was a three-year starting letterman in basketball and baseball. Tom was voted All-Metro and first-team All-Conference basketball and was the leading scorer and captain for the basketball team, where he held records for most varsity games started and played. He was in the top 10 in career scoring at St. Mary's at the time of his graduation. He was a member of basketball teams that won the CAC 3 times with 2 district titles, as well as the esteemed Biani and ABC tournaments. It's been stated of Tom that during one of the best stretches of basketball in this school's history, Tom was the dominant force, was the dominant player of those teams. He was also named second-team All-Conference outfielder in baseball. Tom attended St. Luke's University and gained his master's at Washington University. He's been married to wife Debbie for 35 years, with 3 children, grown children, Jack, Patrick, and Tommy, with 1 grandchild on the way. He worked for AT&T for over 35 years as a sales engineer and includes biking, swimming, and the sport of kings, corfball, as his hobbies. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1977, please help me in honoring Mr. Tom Fleming.
Notice that was 2 St. Mary Magdalenes in a row. So I want to recognize my wife, Debbie, because not only has she been my wife for 35 years, but also attended many of the basketball games that we talked about and a few baseball games as well. I also want to recognize many of my classmates from 1977. Many of them should also be in the Hall of Fame, including 2 that are here tonight, Ed Hoff and Martin Klosky, and others. Also, say hi to my good friends, Rich Scala and Tom Scala from St. Mary Magdalene, who are here. I also owe a great debt of gratitude to one Pat Scannell, who, when I was a junior classman playing basketball for the first year on the varsity squad, took me under his wing, gave me lots of rides. I still owe him lots of gas money. And I appreciate everything he did for me on and off the court. We had a lot of fun, played some good basketball, and had a good time. Also want to thank Vince DeGrief, who was my coach for parts of 4 years. He was a great influence and did a really good job of coaching our teams and making sure it was fun. And lastly, I'd like to recognize brother Mike Barber, who I know for many of us in the class of 77 was a great influence. I only played for him 1 year, but I also had him for French class, and I think about things that he taught us in basketball and life and in French class. I don't even think he spoke French, but he was just so disciplined and such a great teacher and leader that he taught me way more about life than anything else. So anyway, thank you for this great honor. Thank you to St. Mary's. I love my time here, and I think about it often.
Next, we are presenting our Meritorious Service Award to Bishop Edward Rice from the class of 1978. Growing up on, Bishop Rice attended St. Cecilia Grade School and received a Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy at Cardinal Glennon College. He received a Master of Divinity degree at Kenrick Seminary. His priesthood ordination was in January of '87, with his first Mass celebrated at his alma mater, St. Cecilia. His ministry, at a glance, includes beginning as a deacon in 1986, becoming an associate pastor in 1987 at Immaculata. He taught religion here at St. Mary's in the early 90s while being in residence at St. Mary Magdalene. There's that phrase again. In 1996, he was a director at Cardinal Glennon Seminary, where in 2000 he moved on to become the pastor at St. John's Baptist Parish. In 2008, while in residence at Holy Redeemer, he became the director of the Office of Vocations for the Archdiocese of St. Louis. Pope Benedict appointed him a chaplain to His Holiness with the title Monsignor in 2008. He was appointed auxiliary by Pope Benedict in 2010 and served as auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of St. Louis from 2011 to 2016. He was appointed bishop of Springfield, Cape Girardeau in April of this year, where he is currently located. He cannot be here tonight. We have a short video of him. Specific to his time as a priest and instructor here in the early 90s, he was the founder of the St. Mary's Senior Graduation Walk-In. He was also the cross-country coach for a handful of years. Many of you may know this, but he was an avid runner and would often be seen running down along the river to Parrot. He also ran with his team and was often to finish first, long ahead of his own players. Bishop Rice was always there when St. Mary's needed him for a Mass, whether it be in celebration or in time of death or tragedy. He had a real knack and ability for connecting and relating to our student body as part of one of his homilies, because let's face it, many priests cannot do that. He's the son of John and Helen. Family members include John, Mark, Marianne, James, Patrick, Vincent, Leo, Virginia, and Helen. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, Hall of Fame inductee from the class of 1978, with an accompanying video from his most reverend, and being accepted, she would say a few words, by his sister Gigi. A round of applause and honor for Bishop Edward Rice.
Of the Diocese of Springfield, Cape Girardeau in southern Missouri. Of course, prior to my assignment down here, I was a priest of the Archdiocese of St. Louis and an auxiliary bishop. I would like to begin by thanking the committee for the honor of being inducted into the St. Mary's Hall of Fame, and a special word of congratulations to the other inductees. I'm so sorry I cannot be here in person. I have a bishop's meeting up in Baltimore at this time. I was privileged to be involved with St. Mary's twice in my life. First, of course, as a student. Second, as a priest, I was assigned to teach on the faculty at St. Mary's High School. One of my fond memories of St. Mary's is walking down the hall, and there was a plaque on one of the walls that had a quote from Father Chaminade. It said, "The secret to any success is to interest Mary in it." That little verse sort of took root in my heart and helped me to grow in my devotion and my love to the Blessed Mother. And I would like to end with a quote from Father Chaminade, his famous Marian doxology. May the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be glorified in all places in the Immaculate Virgin Mary. Once again, a word of congratulations to the other inductees and a word of thanks for this honor. God bless.
I'll be brief, I promise. I'm just honored to be here on behalf of Ed, my brother Bishop Rice. Just humbled and privileged and so proud of him. I know he loves St. Mary's, as he indicated twice. Once when he was a student and once when he taught here. So, go Dragons. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have the first of two teams that we are honoring tonight, the 1999 volleyball team. This squad claimed St. Mary's first state title in volleyball, which was also the first title won in a sport other than soccer in the school's history. They completed the season 15-6 with a legendary 3-set title match victory in the state finals. As part of their playoff run, they knocked off Seckman and Parkway Central in the districts, Parkway North in the semis, and Webster in those state finals. Of the few losses they had, the one they remember the most came to the Berg, which came less than 12 hours for them returning from their spring break trip in Spain. Wow, okay. I think Dave Lobby and Ken Gable went to spring break at Marquette Gun Pool. As legend has it, in the state finals, St. Mary's won the first match, Webster the second, and with the entire Webster Grove student body section chanting, "Wyandotte sucks," Brian Quante hammered home the final kill of the match for game, set, state title match for Dragons. This fantastic run through the Final Four also meant they would be late for graduation held later that day. Word is some faculty here viewed it as a trade-off, as they made quite an appearance at graduation since they had all dyed their hair blonde. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow men of Mary, honored as a team and being accepted by former player Brian Quante, a round of applause and honor for the 1999 volleyball team.
Did everybody make it up? I just wanted to start by thanking St. Mary's, the Hall of Fame Committee, Tony Davis and Jim Robin for coordinating all this. It's quite an honor. Just going to begin by introducing the team. Start coach, Donnie Shitticone. Joe Downey was a defensive specialist. Jason Kipp, outside hitter. Brian Nobby was a manager and player. And Tony Pecoraro was the setter. Sam Woodland, outside hitter. And Jake Rockmeyer was a middle hitter. And we're missing Kyle Wendell. He couldn't make it tonight, but he was also a big player, middle hitter. The playoff run was crazy. It was a crazy week of our lives. Like they said, we had to rush to graduation. We had a senior lock-in the night before the playoffs. We got into the game with only a couple hours of sleep. It's probably one of the most intense games we've ever experienced, and it just ended our way.